Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Refugee to Industrial Regent. This episode, I am going ahead and building up Fort Sarbanos, which is several hundred blocks to the south of Odessa. You can actually see in the background there a tainted biome. It's a fairly good-sized taint biome, and I'll be taking care of it in a later stage. Once I get my Thaumcraft research to that point. But before I do anything else, I need to lay down the groundwork for my barracks. That is to say, my soldier housing. Because this is Fort Sarbanos. It is a fort, and it will be used for housing soldiers. Military, basically. So that is a little bit of dirt on the edging there. And in case you're wondering, there is a slime island that's pretty much directly above Fort Sarbanos. When I go off the time-lapse, you will see it on the minimap. You're not seeing it here just because of the position and angle of the camera. But at any rate, I've got 3 of my 4 soldiers' housing units finished off. And here comes the zombie siege. Gotta love the new zombie mechanics in Minecraft 1.6. But anyway, for these barracks, I've opted for a more or less curved roof for these barracks. Just to give it a sort of almost a 1950s American barracks look. I know I was initially thinking Byzantium as my main theme, but my limited knowledge of Byzantine architecture does put a bit of a damper on that. So I'm going to be taking inspiration wherever I can, taking into account the resources available to me. And really, given, the limitations of the Refugee to Regent challenge, there's pretty much no other way to do it. And now that I've got the roof on 2 of the 4 barracks, got the floor and part of the superstructure for the 3rd, now I'm building up number 4. There's number 4 finished, and now its superstructure. Simple supports, the roof, and a bit of dirt around the outside. Of course, the walls, and the roof for the front 2 barracks. And that completes the structure of the barracks. And I've opted to work a bit on the wall at this point, in an effort to try to keep the mobs out. Not only in the short term while I'm working on Fort Sarbanos, but also in the long term, during the lifespan of Fort Sarbanos. I also went ahead and put some torches on the roof of the barracks, so that mobs don't spawn there. And back to building up the walls. The corner I built a bit high simply because the terrain in the area is fairly high. And there's another zombie siege. I managed to get pretty much from the top of the walls. And now I'm going around the back here. And I do acknowledge that there is a willow tree that partially blocks your view. And now, with the barracks done and the walls in that vicinity finished off, I'm going ahead laying down A, road, and B, flattening a bit of a exercise ground. Because what military base is complete without some sort of exercise area / parade ground? And there's the road looping its way around. And I've got the road on the far side before the connection to that straight area. I did cut down a willow tree, partially to make it easier to see part of the base, and partially to ensure that it doesn't become a potential vector for mobs to get in to Fort Sarbanos. At any rate, more lighting in the parade grounds, some more site clearing, finishing up the road connection. And at this point, I am laying out, well, the initial phase of what will ultimately be the mess hall. Building up the wall on the outside so that I have some room, so that I have also a good indication of where the mess hall is going to go ultimately. Now I'm filling in the area underneath the new mess hall, and also laying out its walls, and also making sure that the wall around Fort Sarbanos is high enough, not only so that mobs don't get in, but also so that soldiers can't accidentally jump out. And there's the floor for the mess hall. And as with the barracks, I did opt for a bit of a curved roof. It's a bit of a different curvature, simply because the curve has a longer span to work with. At any rate, got the walls sorted out, and the superstructure. And here's the roof of the mess hall. Fairly simple, straightforward structure. And yes, I am doing a little bit of work on the far side of the mess hall. Some site clearing. I think mostly site clearing. Cutting down a few willow trees that are in my way. Extending the wall out a bit closer to the taint biome. And this has one significant purpose. Which I will explain shortly. Some lights and cutting down another tree or two for even more improved visibility. And yes, I do have the occasional mob I have to fight. And here I am flattening that ground, and also building up the wall on the far side. Yes, there are some monsters that I have to fight. I think there might have been a skeleton or two. And there I am, out of view, filling in the ground on the far side of the mess hall. I do apologize for my bad decision not to level that before building the mess hall. I have to admit, I didn't have this completely planned out. I only had this planned out in approximate terms going into this. And I believe there was a tainted creeper that I had to fight at some point. I suspect you won't be able to actually see the tainted creeper. But at any rate, some more work on the far side wall. A little bit of build-up on the near side wall, first off. A bit of a doorway that I'm going to mostly board up. I will fill that in when I return on camera. I've got to level the terrain in this jet out here, which incidentally is going to contain some fields so that Fort Sarbanos is more or less self-sufficient, at least in terms of food, which would make it, of course, less reliant on Odessos for its food supply, and leave Odessos free to feed the civilian population. And there's the fort more or less finished. Alright, I am back here at Fort Sarbanos. I might as well go ahead and put the sign up. Alright. And I'm actually going to start here with this, well, it's not really a gatehouse, but it'll work for now as far as securing the perimeter, making sure mobs don't get in unnecessarily while still allowing my soldiers access to the base. I'm actually going to start with the setup over here with the barracks. And this barracks is going to be the first infantry Decarchus. I won't be putting commander names on the signs. And I'll go ahead and set up this sign as well for the first support Decarchus. Alright, now I go inside here. Let's see, 11 beds. I'm going to go bed there, 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 and these are for the infantrymen. And, commander sleeps here, I guess. That will have to do. Alright. Now I can go ahead and take out some chests. I have 12. One for each of the infantrymen, including one that was misplaced. Let me go ahead and pick it up. So there's the infantrymen's chests. I may want to move the officer's tent elsewhere. So I'll actually set that aside for the moment. That said, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. So there's 4 and 5. There's 6 and 7. 8, 9, and 10. And now the chests. Like so. And then for these two barracks, reserved for future Decarchoi. I'm pretty sure that's the correct Greek plural. Alright. And although they are reserved for future use, I will still go ahead and outfit them. Alright. And that's with more of the beds. $10 per bunkhouse, remember? And of course, 1 chest per infantryman. And no, I'm not going to bother giving each individual infantryman names. Alright, now let me check something. I have 4 more beds here. Alright, okay, can't do that. Alright, and I can take the last 5 out of that bag. And let's go ahead and put the beds in here. And now for the last few beds. And it looks like a slight modification to this base will be in order, because the officers don't really have a place to sleep at the moment. But that's an off-camera job, frankly. Alright. Number 2, and I realize I'm short a sign for this, but oh well. Number 2 is going to be the mess hall here. And it looks like all the stuff for the mess hall is in here. So grab the tables, the oakwood stairs, which I'm using for chairs, much as I did in the schoolhouse. There we go. And let's head on top here. Play that like so. There we go. And that's the second table finished up, and one misplaced block. So let's get table number 3 of 3 sorted out. There we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and grab my frying pans, my furnaces, and my counters. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lay this from this side. I'm going to alternate counters and furnaces. And don't let me forget the frying pans. I know they stick out a little bit, and I'm okay with that for the time being, though. I'm okay with that, like I said. Alright. Now, I have some chests and some barrels. So what I'm going to do with the barrel, I think... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put the barrels here. And those are going to be for food storage. And the chests will go over here. I'm going to lay half of them down. The other half are reserved for the officers, if and when I get their hulls sorted out. Doors. Might as well get the doors sorted out while I've got the chance. Let me think. There's one door left. One door. Sure, I had a reason for it. I can't remember what it was. I'll go ahead and put it back up, though, for the time being. Alright? In the meantime, and I had a sinking feeling I forgot something when I left Byzantium, and this was it. I forgot a hoe, so that I can actually make cropland out of all of this land here. Incidentally, the first support the card shows, main responsibility is going to be tending these fields. I basically built these fields here so that the army has its own independent supply of food, as opposed to having to rely on imperial civilian stocks. It also gives me better access to farmers, because I can basically use the support battalion as farmers. And in fact, that's exactly what I've done here. Now, I'm going to take a look through these bags. See, I have the seeds there. Alright, let's see, there's some stuff there for a dock. Almost. But yeah, it looks like I've got a little bit more work left to go. But before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and sleep, actually, while I'm here. Thanks to the sleeping bag. And now I can go outside. And I should be able to make my way over to the waterfront here. I do see a couple of zombies on the map. I'm not going to fret too much about them, actually. I'm okay with them as they are. Okay. Now, first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and clean this up a little bit. There we go. I might as well go ahead and take this like so. Criminally. It's not quite what I wanted. It will have to do, though, for the time being. Yeah, I didn't really need any of this mud, either. Anyway, let's actually begin by, getting... First, if I can go ahead and place that there. Let me think. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright. And what I'm going to do is, let's see, I'm going to take that up one further. Let's see, do that like so. And sneak the slabs underneath as well. Alright. Let's get the lower slabs. Alright. Lower slabs first, then the upper slabs. Let's see. I have a pickaxe, which will help with this a little bit. So might as well mine this block of stone up. Alright. And then I can use this, yeah, like so, as my second support column for this dock. And also to mark the connection to the shore. So what I'm going to do at this point, go ahead and dig that out. Got a little bit of dirt, which I'll go ahead and plant there. There we go. And it looks like I have a zombie that I need to take out. And he's well armored too, isn't he? So this is going to be a little bit of a bear. And yes, I do realize I don't have the wool I need to actually make this completely usable. What I can do, I think, is go ahead and do this like so. Let's see here. Alright. See, this side here, I might as well go ahead and put this up like so. This like so. Yeah. Alright. Alright. Yeah, that works for me. And actually, I could probably get away with one this side as well. Yeah. There we go. It's nice and level. Quick check of the lighting reveals that I am safe at the moment. Now let's go ahead and get this part of the dock sorted out. Now I can't actually swim onto it, and that's okay at the moment. I could build a road to the door, but that's an off-camera job, simply because I expect it to be a little bit of a longer task. Of course, lighting, officers' housing, unless I want to have their immediate officers remain in Byzantium for the time being. That is a viable option, simply because I am going to continue to have my military headquarters in Byzantium. I do have some work to do to make the waters leading here to Fort Sarbanos fully navigable. As you can see, I've got a bunch of algae blooms in the area, and there's also some ice on the river, a little bit west and southwest of Odessos. But with that said, I would say I've hit a good wrapping up point for this episode. So, I will see you next time, everybody.